Hi, so this is Tracy from We Craft at Home, and I said last week that I would show you how to do the files we done with the heart wreath last week, and then show you how to make them into a card. So we're going to go to shapes, and we first of all need obviously a heart, and then I want a circle for the two holes for the ribbon at the top. But then we are going to make a piece of jigsaw. Now, I have got a piece of jigsaw, but I thought it best to show you how really simple it is to make one. So let me just move that down. We'll move them across because they're a separate part. But I'll show you piece by piece what we do. And I want that piece. And then I want an ellipse. There we go. So for the jigsaw, I've got a square, an ellipse, and a rounded rectangle. The heart is pretty simple, so if I do that first, although the jigsaw needs to go in it, so this has to go right down, and this, you really want to do it. I done it corner to corner, just leaving a little bit of space all the way round, and then the circle, you don't need it that big. We'll do one, so we've got two circles like that, and then what we're going to do is just pick them both and make sure that they are on the same level. Now I would say this one needs to come out a little bit more, so I'm going to use the arrows so that I'm not moving it up or down, just across. There, I think that's a bit better. So there you go, that's the heart with the holes in. What we're going to do, because it's a lot easier, is subtract the holes. So they're gone. And it's all one piece. There we go. It doesn't really matter. When you cut out, you're still going to get the holes in there, if you want to keep them. So I'm just going to move that over to the side so I can show you how to do the jigsaw and how to add it to the puzzle. So the ellipse, I'm just going to bring it down a bit. I want it more sort of like that. Now this, I want it really narrow and a lot smaller. I just want a tiny bit to attach here. So that doesn't really matter how wide that is. But what I'm going to do is centralize it like we always do. And that's that one. There we go. See, it looked okay to me, and obviously it wasn't. And we're going to weld. So again, we've now got one piece. Now I'm going to make it a hell of a lot smaller. And just like that. And then layer duplicate. I'll just show you what I've done. That's too big, isn't it? Let's just make it a little bit smaller. That's better, I think. Oh, this computer's moving slow today. So these two, we're going to do inwards. Okay, and again, you want to make sure that they're on the same level. So it's this way, through the middle, that way you want it centered. And then this one, we want to make sure is in the middle of that. So that's that way. Yeah, that's already fine. And then just them three, we want to go that way. There, see. Okay, so these two we want to subtract. So if we do that, we want to subtract that one. And this one, we're going to weld. And there we have it. There's our jigsaw piece. Very simple. And then what we're going to do is put it up on here. I tilted it to the side. I think that's about right. You don't want it too big, but you know, big enough. But before we do that, we're going to duplicate because we need to do a layer with writing on. So this, yep, we're going to subtract. Done it? Yeah, there we go. All done. So that is the original heart. So you can see it was that simple. Just that part of it is very simple. We have the extra piece so we can write on it and cut it out separately on a patterned paper or a white sheet, whatever you want to do. I just done it on a white paper. These two that cut out are going to make the actual separate bit of puzzle that you stick on. So that's that. What I'm going to do is just delete that so that I can show you everything else. So the next part is the heart background, and I need a circle for that as well. So what we want to do is just bring the heart down to quite small, and the circle is even smaller. So if I show you how I'm doing it, if we duplicate, and then we fit the circle in the middle, that's still too big. What we want to do, we'll add the circle afterwards, I think. So we want to get as many hearts as we can in a line. We've got the two there. Then I'm going to duplicate and get them two up there, and then duplicate and get them up there, like that. And then we're going to get them all, put them so they're level, and then we're going to press this, which will put an even space between all of them. So it looks very neat then. Actually, if I group that so that we know that's already sorted. And then we're going to fit the circles in. Now the circles need to, I think, a bit smaller to be fair. You need to try and sit them in the middle. Oh. And duplicate it. We're kind of doing the same thing. So we know it needs to go about there. So I've duplicated another two, which we're going to put there. And then we'll duplicate again. I might have one too many circles, but that's okay. So if we have all them, we then want all the circles, and we're going to do the same thing. So we want them even. And evenly spaced. And then we're going to use the arrows to make sure we've got them in the perfect place, which I think is about right. There we go. So then all we're going to do, actually first of all, you're only allowed a certain amount of groupings. So I'm going to ungroup the hearts and then group them all as one. I think it only allows you to group 3 times in one, and we've got to do quite a bit here. So layer, group. So that's one line. But then what we need to do is duplicate that line and make it so that it's actually, we do it this way. So make it so that it's diagonal and the circle is in the middle of the heart. You see that? Okay, and then what we're going to do, because then we've got the right 2 rows, we are going to duplicate that and bring that down. Now, before we go any further, we are going to make sure that this and this is the same level at the end, there. And then we're going to, well, that means the other 2 are, so that's okay. So we know now that that is all right and in exactly the same spaces. So what I'm going to then do is group all of that. So layer, group, and then we're going to duplicate. Now, because this is now a whole group, we can make sure that they're all level. So we can centralize it like that. There we go, it's all level now. And that is your background made up. So now we've got that, next step is to get our shape. Where's it gone? Oh, I cut it off, didn't I? Okay, so we need another heart shape. You wouldn't be shutting yours down, you'd be keeping it. Silly me. So you'd need the shape. Looks like we need a bit more. So I'm just gonna, is that 1? Right. I'm just gonna make it a little bit more. And then get the whole page and group. Hoping I haven't used all my groups. No, that's okay then. So then yeah, that's what we want. We want the page we've made, we want it on top, because then we're gonna just gonna make that a bit wider. Obviously I didn't do it wide enough either. We're going to subtract is what we're going to do. So we want the hearts all over, and then choose them both and subtract. And there you go. So that's the basic thing. And then if you want to start cutting bits off, it's like me, because I knew I had the tissue going around this bit here. I sliced that away, and all that is getting a shape. I wanted it rounded on the ends because it cuts off better, and just covering over so you know where you're cutting it off. And I know that I wanted it more down that way, kind of like that. And then again you pick both and subtract. See, like that. And then you do it where the jigsaw was, and just things like that, just so that you haven't got to cut the pattern out. It's not necessary because you're covering it. So I'm going to undo that actually, because I tell you what I was thinking. I don't know if it's when we're making the card. Actually, I think I've still got the original. No. Yeah, I have. That's lucky. Okay, so when we're making the card, it might be nice to do it with the heart. That's all grouped together. Let me just ungroup that. Wow, this computer is slow today. Yeah, so just do it. Obviously, we're going to downscale it. That's the shape I was left with because I cut out where the jigsaw goes and a little bit off here because I knew I wanted to trim it down there and just that sort of thing. So you don't have to do that. You could have the full bit, and like I said, let's just size both down. Let me look at the size. We want it, well, that would fit a 7x7 card, so it depends. You want 7x7 or 8x8. So you just size it down, and then it will be nice for the card as well as a whole. If you just do that with a bit of ribbon across or something like that. I've got a couple of ideas I want to try. So anyway, that's for the card. I'm just going to put that out the way. I'm going to delete that because we don't need it. Because the next bit, of course, is the words. Now, you might not like these words and you might want to try something different. Absolutely fine. For these, I used Bernhurst font. And then what I've done an outline at 08. So that is just going on there. Offset. Yeah, I used 08, and then it's outward, rounded, because the letters are rounded. You want the original that's there left as it is. Okay. And there you go. It gives you the outline, which is these. So, just deleting that. Because I wanted it to say, you are my missing piece. You might want to say something completely different, something that's personal to you guys. I'm just going to put it back in place. But, you know, it's all personal really, isn't it? So you just do whatever fits you. I just like that as a missing piece of your heart. It's filled with the person you love. So that seemed like a good idea to me. So this piece is, you only need one piece with the writing on it, obviously, because that's the top. The two that come out of the main piece will make the extra layer of the puzzle. And that's it. Then it's just like a flower to put in the center, and you're done. So for the card, I mean, you can use the same words, I'm guessing. You obviously have to scale it down. You can use a patterned paper. I've got a really nice vellum with yellow flowers on, and I thought I might try that rather than use this. I might do it in that nice vellum and then not a little pretty bow round it. You could even put the words on the actual heart, couldn't you? Again, you'd have to downsize it, but to get it, I had to send that to the back because it was covering these. To get it so that you are doing almost the same thing, but with a heart, I wouldn't worry with the tissue effect because that's a lot of work for a card. But it's up to you, obviously. And then this bit, you have to size down as well. Let's see if we got that right. Oh, no, it's not that. Obviously, you do it properly. When you're sizing down the heart, make sure you grab the jigsaw piece as well. So there we go. So it can just be like that. You are my missing piece. Yeah, like I said, I've got a nice bit of vellum that's got some little yellow buds on it. And then I thought just a bow across the middle. And that'd look nice. Okay, I think we're done. So thanks for watching. And I'm going to show you in a minute a couple of the cards so you can see what I've done with them. And I'll see you over at the craft desk. See you soon.
Okay, so we're over at the craft table, so let's get going. Now, I've done 3 different styles of cards using the same piece with the same sort of colour matching so that it matches my wreath, which was yellow. So first of all, just a very simple card. I used vellum. I don't know if you can see that. But on its own, on the card, it kind of got lost. So I backed it with some white card. And then I've put a piece of ribbon round with just a little bow. And I stuck it on the back to hide the mess. I've put pads on so that it stands up from the card. And instead of putting the words outside, I've just put there, you are my... And then what I'm going to do there is I've done just missing piece, and I'm going to put that along the bottom rather than putting it on the actual puzzle piece. The card, all I done was spray it with some yellow mica spray. So all I've done here is a very nice and simple, straightforward card. Just take the pads off and stick it down. The thing I wasn't sure about was the words missing piece. I don't know if it will look better flat down on the card or on pads, so, and I'm still not sure what's going to be best. But we'll put this, just make sure it centres. This is a 7x7 card I've used here, by the way, just so you know. This keeps slipping. That's the thing about organza ribbon, it does slip a little bit, doesn't it? So what I was thinking was just one word there and one word there. I think I'm going to put some little pads on it. I'm sure that's going to be better. So you don't have to use it's a myth that you've got to use a load of pads. You haven't got to use that many, as long as you've got enough to keep it standing up. See, I think that's enough. Just taking the sticky backs off. We'll just cut them off at the end. I wasn't sure how many, how long I needed to do it. I always want one in the middle so that it doesn't dip in the middle when you put it down. But There's no need to use a ton. Okay, missing piece. So this again, it is very simple, but I think it's nice and elegant. And all you've got to do is turn it over. Trim away the excess. And there we go. That's one card, very simple, like I said, just straightforward. Now this one, I've done it as a gatefold, and I've put some strips of paper down each side just so that it's not as plain. Now I've done this one as yellow, and the the pattern that we done on the main reef, I've used it, put it down, but used the whole thing and put that on top of that. And then I've just put a yellow piece of puzzle that says missing piece. I've used a different font, I've just drawn that, and then I put white card around it as well, and that can go in the centre like that. I'm not even sure I want to, remember when you're doing something in the centre you only do half of it in pads. If you do it all, you shut the card. And how do we know that? I'm just going to do this like this. It's easier to line up, because you want to make sure that the point is there, but also the middle of the heart. There we go. So that's that part, and then you've got to decide, you know, that's a bit simple. So the only thing now is like whether you want to go a bit further, and I would. I was looking, I got the hearts that I cut out from when I done the reef, because obviously you've got to keep everything, and I was looking at doing that, but to be honest it's a different yellow. I've used a different yellow here, so I'm not sure it looks alright. And then I've got the little ones from here, but they just fade into the background. So then I was thinking, I've got some flowers. Okay, so I've got this little yellow one, maybe I can do like a spray on there, or I've got this big one that we can just sit up there or in the middle. Actually it's quite nice up there. And then got a couple of these maybe. Yeah, or a leaf. So this is a rolled flower that I've just got in my spares, and it's from the velvet paper that I do. Maybe that. Yeah, with a couple of them coming down. Well, there's a couple of them. I always think they look nice. Or a spray of flowers, like I said. And I think that'll do. I don't even think you need the You Are My. I think I just like, yeah, that with the flower. The big flower I think I liked. Yeah, let's do that. See how it comes out. Actually, do you know what I'm going to use? A good old pin flare. If we use the pin flare, then we can stick anything else we want in there. So, just going to make it do again. So, like if you're doing a spray, if you just do a big blob of pin flare glue, then you can attach anything to it. So, excuse me. It's very good if you're doing a spray, because you can do all the bits, stick all the stalks into the glue and it holds it. like I'm thinking about trying these. If I just cut it down. Now I could cut it down again into 3, which I think I will do. And then you can just stick them in to the glue. There we go, and it holds it. And then you can put them exactly where you want them. So, like that. Maybe a bit of a leaf. Should we do that going to the top? Actually, you come here. That's it. We'll do that coming up there. Thought I had another leaf. There it is. Let's see. Okay, so we'll do that one. Just move it a little bit because I haven't I didn't work it out earlier. I'm trying to go as fast as I can because I know this video is quite long. So I just want it out a little bit further, like that. And then you know it's all going to hold. Now I can put that on there. There we go. And then if you want to add some more stuff in between, you can. Say like these. If you just take a couple. There we go. So you don't want too much, but you get them, twist them, and stick them in the glue. And then they're just loose like that. So we do it the other side as well. Let's see if I can show you closely. So you can see the Pinflair glue there. You hold the flower up so it's not getting in your way. And you just poke the stalks in. That's it. There you go. Then arrange them how you want them. Obviously it means you've got to give it time to dry. And there you go. So I think that's enough. I think any more would ruin that, unless you want to put peel-offs along the side, or maybe just a little pen line just to finish that off. And that's that one. So the last one I have, all I've done is I have embossed it. See? It's a very, very old embossing folder I've got from Crafter's Companion. It's about 6 years old, maybe more. So what I've done, I drew a line down the middle of the card so I knew where the middle was, lined this up so that that and the tip were on the pencil line, and then drew around the heart. Because what I want to do is cut that off. There we go. And if anyone spot my deliberately mistake, I embossed it the wrong way round. So the puzzle is on the other side. But we won't worry too much about that. What I want to do in there is I've also done a whole sheet of the same embossing folder. And I'm just going to stick that in. But what I want to do first is just make sure that little extra bit is cut off, so we start with the embossing. and then the rest I can cut round. So we do that. Actually, I'm going to put it on here because that's larger, isn't it? And then I'm going to turn it over and trim. What is it they say? Less haste, more speed. So once that's done, as you can see, you put that there, and then you have to decide what you're going to do to decorate it, if you want to. Plenty of people like white on white. I do myself. I'm not sure about this though, it feels a bit too plain. But you know, that's why I've tried to do 3 different types of card. I mean, in all honesty, you could go over it with a gilding wax or some kind of paint, very lightly. So you've got that at the moment. Don't know if you can see the embossing. There you go. So it's still very plain, but like I said, some people do like that. Again, you could come back to the hearts and just put a few over like this. Keep it simple again. I mean, that's yellow, or you can do the white ones because again, white on white always works. So you could do little white ones. Very natural and simple. Or go over it with gilding wax. Or, like I said, some sort of light, maybe your ink pads, if you just skim over it, it will just pick up the embossing. And honestly, I don't think I'd even use any words on that one. I think I'd keep it really simple. I've made a mistake, I've just noticed. Put the embossing upside down, so that's debossing inside. And then you can write on this bit for the inside. So there you go, 3 ways to do the card, to go with the wreath. That's kind of a bit different, but still in keeping with it, so it looks similar. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoy making yours. I'd love you to show me some pictures. And as always, happy crafting. Bye for now.